Welcome back. My name is Chris, and today we'll be discussing a Black History hero for the month of February. Her name was Bessie Coleman. She was the first ever African/Native American woman pilot to ever soar the skies. She would perform tricks for the public in an attempt to inspire people, or more specifically, reach out to those women who weren't motivated to go for their dreams. She was born in Texas on January 26, 1892. Bessie was one out of 12 children whose parents were Susan and George Coleman. Her father worked as a sharecropper and her mother worked as a maid. Sadly, she was faced with discrimination, but she still managed to strive and attend a college. The name was Colored Agriculture and Normal University. Sadly, this would come to a short end after she had to drop out after only a semester due to financial problems. She managed to push through this and still reach for something else. She excelled when she went to school of Burhan of Beauty and Culture. She then became a professional manicurist, working in a barber shop. But in reality, she had other dreams. Influenced by her brothers who were pilots in the World War I, she also wanted to be a pilot herself, but she faced a challenge as she was a woman and she was Black. Due to discrimination and sexism, she was forced to learn French in order to apply to French flying schools, as those were the only ones that would accept her. Eventually, she was accepted into the Quadrant Brothers School of Aviation, and she'd become the first woman pilot on June 15th, 1921. From then on, it's history. She encouraged others to fly and held her first performance in 1922, where she showed off her skills to the public, doing crazy tricks. Sadly, she was held back by an accident for 3 years, but she didn't quit and she returned to flying in 1925, where she then had enough funds to buy her own plane, a JN-4. Throughout her time flying, she changed the game. She changed the rules for Black pilots, and she influenced many people to follow their dreams, more specifically those people who were pilots but were restricted due to either their sex or their race. Sadly, her life came to a tragic end. This happened April 30th, 1926, when the plane she was flying malfunctioned and flipped over, taking the life of both Bessie and her flying partner at the time, William Wills. Planes back then didn't have a roof over them, so they ended up falling from over 3,000 feet in the air all the way down. To this day, we still remember her and respect this Black hero for making history. This all began in 1931. The Challenger Pilot Association of Chicago, they began the tradition of flying over her grave every year. And by 1977, African-American women's pilots actually formed a club named after Bessie Coleman. In 1955, the Bessie Coleman stamp was made to remember all her accomplishments, and these are the ways that we keep her legacy alive. I believe it's important to acknowledge these heroes, as most of the time they're not credited enough, and we only talk about people like Amelia Earhart or the Wright brothers, when in reality there are many more pioneers, those of them being colored. And that's it. Happy Black History Month.